REQL is a functional language. It was modeled after Haskell and Lisp, believe it or not. Sometimes, though, when I'm working with it, I feel like it's working with JavaScript, although JavaScript is object-oriented. Oh, I don't even want to go into those discussions. Anyway, here is the table of all of the artists that we have. Again, 204 records. And I want to be able to play with some of this data. Specifically, I want to be able to query for partial values. So I can do that using the keyword filter. And filter can take a number of things, including a callback function, as we're specifying here. Although in functional programming, this is more of a lambda, or an anonymous function, if you will. So what I need to return out of this is the filter that I want to see. In this case, I want the artist's name to match on something. And this is one of the fun things of working with Rethink, is that it supports regular expressions straight away. So in here, I could say, I want anything that matches house, and then I can pass in a dot star. Although that's not really needed, this is a partial match by default. And then you can see House of Pain. If I put in Ho, I can see Red Hot Chili Peppers and House of Pain. Notice again the dot star, or not. Either way, it's a partial match. All right, well, filtering on top level keys is not necessarily that exciting, although I do like the match functionality a lot. Typically, when you're working with a document, you want to get information just about anywhere, especially if those documents contain embedded arrays, like ours does. As you can see here, every artist has one or more albums, and every album has one or more tracks. So this is a double-nested array. How in the world are we going to filter on that? Let's take a look. First thing I want to do is I want to take a look at all the albums for each artist. And for that, I can use concat map. And this is one of the downfalls of working with something like REQL. You have to discover all of these little functions that are buried inside of it. But the good news is there's not that many. So for the concat map function, I need to tell it what I want to see. I'll explain how it works in a second. I'm telling it that I want to see all the albums for the artist. Here you can see that, boom, it's given me all the albums as if each album was a top level in our document structure. In other words, these are not arrays, these are just objects. And what I get back is an array of all of the albums. That is how concat map works. So if I have a document with an items array, let's say I wanted to get at those items directly. I wanted to see them in a list. First thing I would need to do is to map those items, and that will return an array. And then I would need to concatenate the items out of the array and drop them into a single result set. So let's go over this step by step. Again, step one, I would need to map the values. And if you've ever used map in Ruby or JavaScript, you know that it returns an array. The second step is I need to take those items and strip them out of the array and concatenate them together. Well, the good news is concat map does both, all at once. So it is one of the most useful functions that you will find in REQL. Here, I'm just telling it I want to see all the albums. And this is where things get fun. I can chain on another concat map because now I'm operating on individual albums. And here, I can say I want to see all the tracks. And look at this. I can run this and now I have a list of all the tracks as if they are individual documents. This is the functional nature of REQL. Chaining commands together, composing and shaping the data as you want in a functional way. And to me, I think this is amazing. I have never seen anything like this in any other database system. It's usually some wonky query language that's not easy to use. But as you can see right here, things can be quite easy. Let's take a look at another example. You can chain together filters. That's what I'm doing here. I want to be able to filter all artist documents based on the genres that are in the tracks. So to do this, all I need to do is chain together filter operations until I get down to the track level. Here I'm 3 levels deep. And then I just need to return if the genre ID is 1. So running this and having a look, yep, genre ID 1. That was not that difficult. All right, well, I should note that I don't need to use a callback up here. Here I can set the filter directly on tracks, and I can do so using an object. And I can just say I want the genre ID to be equal to 1, just like that. And if I run it, I get the exact same results down below.